Do potatoes yield more in a raised bed or a grow bag? I'm sure every situation is different and every garden is different, but in my garden this year, I decided to put it to the test. And what I found out, at least in my garden, actually surprised me. So come with me in my garden as I harvest 4 of the varieties that I'm growing in my garden this year, and we're gonna compare them head to head and see how they did. Several of my potatoes are ready to harvest in this raised bed and also some grow bags. I'm trying some new varieties this year and some old standbys, but I did make some changes in how I planted this year. Specifically, I added a fertilizer from Wood Prairie Family Farm, which is where all of these potatoes came from. So now we'll see how the harvest actually did. It's kind of hard to get huge harvests with potatoes in my climate because we tend to get cold to hot really quickly, but with growing early season varieties, and then I tried a couple of mid-season varieties, and adding that fertilizer, I'm crossing my fingers that I'm getting a good harvest this year. Let's see if that happens. Potatoes are ready to harvest when the foliage starts dying back. I can't quite tell if all of this foliage is just dying back because they're ready or if they've had more issues with disease than normal. We tend to get a lot of disease here in a hot and humid climate like Arkansas. But the point is, once they get like this, whether it's from disease or just natural dying back, they're not gonna be photosynthesizing and getting any larger. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pull these out. So we got our first one here. This particular variety is called Purple Viking. And this was a new one this year from Wood Prairie. It was one that replaced Caribe, at least for 1 year. So I'm really curious to see how it does. It's supposed to be very delicious. I planted each of these potatoes in 1 square foot with the Garden in Minutes garden grid. It made it really easy for plant spacing. I don't know that I've ever planted them this close, but we'll see how that goes. I was gonna harvest earlier today, but we got a rain, which is probably gonna make it a little bit more difficult to harvest today because the soil is so wet. Oh, there's a big one hiding down there. I am eating these for dinner tonight, so this will be definitely one that I'll wash off and eat. That's huge. I found the seed potato. Often we can do that when we see one that's kind of starting to rot a little bit and it's definitely a different color. This is the original mother potato. It's definitely not one that I want to keep. There's another big one. That was a quick little rain. Let's see if I can get any more of these Purple Viking from this square. I think that was it. So this is actually a pretty decent harvest for, I think, for at least for my climate, for a 10-inch square area with 1 seed potato. These are some pretty hefty Purple Viking potatoes. Next, I'm gonna move over to this one. This has clearly already died back. This is Yukon Gold. And so I guess technically, this one was probably the earliest one because it died back a lot quicker. So let's take a look and see what we've got. Since this ground is so saturated, I'm gonna loosen it up with a spade. All right, so that was definitely a more disappointing harvest with the Yukon Gold compared to the Purple Viking. I don't know if being on the edge made any difference. Look right there. There's a purple one, but I think this one is Adirondack Blue. So this has got to be a different one from here. I'm gonna keep this separate so I can know which one is which. But I have another Yukon Gold and Purple Viking on the other side, so let's go get those and see how those compare to the ones we just did. Oh, we got a bunch of ants over here. I gotta be careful with that. I don't know what it has been with ants in my potatoes lately. They were terrible with the fall potatoes. All right, I think that's it for the Purple Viking. Still not bad. And then let's take a look at the Yukon Gold. Oh, there's a good size. That may be the largest Yukon Gold I've ever had. That's our Purple Viking and our Yukon Gold. I really was gonna wait on this Adirondack Blue just to see if they could do a little bit more, but I'm so tempted to pull them now, especially this one. This one's dying back pretty much. Oh, let's go ahead and harvest. I'm actually pretty impressed. These are mid-season varieties, which I wasn't sure that I'd be able to do very well here in Arkansas just because of our short, cool season. But they seem to be doing pretty well. Sizing up really well. The other ones seem to have sized up well, and I'd like to plant my next crop soon in this space. Plus, I hate looking at potato plants that are starting to die back. They're so ugly. Kind of an eyesore in the garden. Even though if you let them die back where there's just not much left, they are supposed to cure and store a little bit better. Oh, look at that one. Man, these are good size. I did not anticipate the Adirondack Blue to be that big. I didn't realize they were gonna be like baking potato sized. I thought they were just gonna be small little fingerlings. That was a sweet surprise. Maybe we'll have baked potatoes tonight. Oh man, there's another one. Wow, I am thrilled with these purple potatoes. The harvest has been great. Yukon Gold, not so much, but honestly, the last couple times I've grown Yukon Gold, they haven't done fantastic, but these purple ones give me hope. Okay, we have another purple variety here in Huckleberry Gold. Those have been my favorite as far as being so tasty. Buttery, smooth, great for pot roast, and I don't know that I've mashed them, but I think they'd be perfect mashed potatoes. But first, I'm gonna go ahead and harvest these red clouds. The red clouds have been really good for me in the past few years, and one reason I really like them is because they have a really long dormancy. So even though I'm harvesting these in June, they last the longest in my pantry, which means that I can get more food more of the year. Let's keep these separate. I don't think I will mix them up with the Adirondack Blue, but definitely want to keep them separate. Okay, I think that's all I'm gonna get from those. Oh, there's more. Definitely more in this square than there was in the other one. Now I'm going to weigh these. I like to be able to keep track of how much yield I get from variety to variety, from season to season, especially because I'm also comparing some of these same varieties to growing in grow bags, and then also comparing to another raised bed I have in my garden. So the first thing I'm gonna do here is weigh out the Adirondack Blue. These were such a sweet surprise for me. That's 4 pounds, so an average of 2 pounds per seed potato. So we're gonna do 4 pounds total. I'm gonna do the Yukon Gold, but they did not do great. 1.5 pounds. Purple Viking. Let's see, maybe neck and neck between that one and Adirondack Blue. Oh, 3.69. So Adirondack Blue is the winner here. I still have yet to harvest Huckleberry Gold. We'll see how those compare. I think I'm gonna leave those in the ground for just a little bit longer, let them ripen up just a little bit more. But it'll be interesting to see how this compares to the grow bag potatoes, especially because I grew Adirondack Blue, Huckleberry Gold, and Red Cloud. So I think I'll go ahead and harvest the Red Cloud and the Adirondack Blue just to get a quick comparison, harvesting the same day, to see how they compared in a grow bag compared to in the raised bed. Here we have these grow bags. These are 15-gallon grow bags. They are the lined grow bags from Epic Gardening, and I planted 2 seed potatoes per bag. I know I could have technically planted 3 because typically you want 1 seed potato per 5 gallons, but I wanted to give them a little bit extra room, and it'll also create a good one-to-one comparison to see how the yield of these 2 seed potatoes compared to the yield of the 2 squares, which were the 2 seed potatoes in the Garden in Minutes garden grid bed. And these have had this drip system on it, this drip tape that I showed you about in this video. But I will say that I don't know that I ended up getting enough water on these, because some days I saw that they were a little droopy, and then I started turning on the drip, and I just don't think I dialed it in as well as it would have been in the raised bed with the Garden in Minutes system. And then also we did get quite a bit of rain, and that raised bed I could tell held on to water better than these grow bags did. So let's take a look and see. I'm gonna take this drip off just for ease. This is the Red Cloud. I did add the same fertilizer that I added to the ones in the raised bed, the Wood Prairie potato fertilizer. I did add that at planting, so they were fertilized the same. I think I got them all. Man, that's a really good yield for these grow bags. This has got to be the best that I've ever had in a grow bag for sure. Okay, let's move on over here to the Adirondack Blue. Well, after seeing that, I have pretty high hopes for these. Okay, wow. I think this may be the biggest harvest I've ever gotten from 2 potatoes. Maybe I'm not remembering right, but this is pretty incredible. Now let's go weigh them in. First, the Red Cloud. 4.43 pounds, so a little bit better than the raised bed. I honestly thought it would have been a little bit more, but still, 4.43 pounds. It's a pretty good harvest. And honestly, they're larger, so it's not just the pounds, but they're larger if you compare to the ones that were in the raised bed. Okay, let's look at the Adirondack Blue. These are not larger. These are all very uniform, very similar to size. They all have these cute little like teardrop shape. And we have 4.1 pounds. So a little bit more, but not by much. These Huckleberry Golds have been dying back by the day. This is just a couple of days since I harvested the rest of my potatoes, and I thought, let's go ahead and get these up. They're not doing much. So it'll be interesting to see how these do. In the past, I haven't gotten a huge harvest out of Huckleberry Gold just because they are long season, not long season, but mid-season varieties, and our climate is such where early season varieties do better. But they are so tasty, which is why I wanted to keep trying them to see if I could get a better harvest by using other methods. So let's take a look. I'm trying to get the nasturtium out of the way that I companion planted here. And let's see what we've got with these. This might be the last one. Man, these are large. Okay, so that is the harvest from this one square. So I'm kind of curious. We'll see how the harvest did on this square, because it seems like so far the ones more toward the center have done a little bit better. And that could partially be because potatoes don't like forming tubers in the heat, and it's a little bit more insulated the further in we get in the bed. Because remember, those Adirondacks did really well and they were in the center too. All right, I think that's it. But yeah, looking at this, I don't know if you can see with the light, but the right side was the center square. The left side was the end square. So I think that made a difference having them in the center. Definitely something to note for next year. All right, now let's go weigh these and then we'll harvest from the grow bag. All right, these are the Huckleberry Gold that we just harvested from the raised bed. Looks like that one square, the bigger square, was about 2.07 pounds. Add the other square to it. And we've got 3.24 pounds. So they did not outperform the Adirondack Blue, but they did outperform the Red Cloud and the Yukon Gold. And then they were just under the Purple Viking. Let's go harvest out of the grow bag and see what we found from that. I have to say, after the last couple of harvests in these grow bags, I have some pretty high hopes for these Huckleberry Golds. Very curious to see how they did. I already replaced one of the plantings of potatoes here with my lemon tree. I had it in a smaller grow bag and I wanted to give it a little bit more space. I'm not sure that I needed to, because when I went ahead and potted it up, it hadn't really even expanded into that larger one, but surely a little bit more space will be better in the long run, especially as we start to heat up. Whoa. These are not coming out like usual. That's got to be a good sign, right? That means there's a lot of potatoes down there. Whoa, there's some way down in there. Usually potatoes are mainly at the surface, but I'm glad I was digging a little deeper. So I can tell when reaching around these edges, I can feel how dry that soil is. So I really do think the volume of the soil has played a role in the development of these tubers, because drying out of soil with hot weather, especially with potatoes, can definitely hamper the harvest. All right, these, lots of big, uniform, good size Huckleberry Golds. I really think they're going to exceed the raised beds, but definitely all about the same size. Very good size. I'm so excited about these. These are delicious. Let's go weigh them. Now we're gonna weigh the Huckleberry Gold in that grow bag. See these close up. So pretty. These are gorgeous. They have yellow interior. Very, very delicious. I had just enough to use them in pot roast last time I harvested, but I'm gonna try to mash them this time and see how they do. They're very similar to Yukon Gold, so I think they'll mash up really well. Okay, 3.86. So a little bit less than I expected. I guess that would be the smallest harvest in the grow bag. The other ones were well over 4, the Red Cloud and the Adirondack Blue. So what all did I learn from this experiment? So far, the potatoes in grow bags produced more weight of potatoes with my harvest. I used the same amount of fertilizer for both the raised bed and the grow bag. The main differences were when I was pulling the potatoes from my raised bed, I noticed that there really was a lot of clay content in that soil. I think that's because that raised bed had some topsoil in it in addition to compost, whereas the grow bags had more of a potting mixture and compost in it, but it was that light and airy compost. So I really think that made a difference, because they did not get too waterlogged. That really was the primary difference. The ones in the raised beds, I think, held on to more water. Also, as I mentioned, I think the potatoes on the outside of the raised beds didn't harvest as much because they probably got a little bit warmer. And the more that I grow potatoes, the more I realize how much heat at the soil level plays a role in the harvest. So overall, I thought this was a really fun experiment. I still have harvest to go from my green stalk and 2 other raised beds in my garden, and they're in a Birdie's raised bed, which is metal, and a metal raised bed. I'm also comparing seed potatoes from my feed store and then not fertilizing versus fertilizing, so I still have some tests left to go. But just with these particular varieties going head to head, between the raised bed and the grow bag with the same conditions overall, they were both in the same amount of full sun. The only difference really was the soil. It was a really fun test to see how they did. I always love testing in my garden. I think it's really important for us to continue testing because we never know what factor we may not be considering. But overall, I'm really pleased with this harvest, and I'm excited to harvest more when the time comes.